Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca if we have never met before, and this is my channel where I talk about all the houseplant things. It has been a little while since I've done a care video with all of the new plants that I have recently gotten. I wanted to make sure that I knew very well how to take care of them before I was giving advice. So typically you want to get some experience before you start teaching. So that is basically what I've been doing. I've been learning, I've been reading, I've been thinking, I've been doing things myself in order to understand the care of the Calathea Orbifolia, which is the only Calathea that I own, the only Calathea that I have ever owned actually, and it is absolutely stunning. This plant has been on my wish list for more than 2 years, and I was able to pick it up back in, I think, August. So I have had it for a couple of months, so I feel like I have had time to get used to it. It has put out 2 new leaves in my care, so I haven't had it for years, but I do feel like I have a pretty good understanding of the Calathea Orbifolia. This specific Calathea has been very, very easy to care for. I will say that. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about Orbifolia saying that they're really difficult and some saying that they're really easy. Now I have heard more that they're really easy, so that is definitely a relief for you as a viewer learning to care for your Orbifolia. If you are here, you happened upon this video because you're searching for care tips for your Orbifolia, welcome. You are safe here and we're going to figure this out together. So I'm really excited to be bringing you this video, and let's just get right into it. So I made an Instagram post a couple of months ago just about what I was doing at that point for Calathea care, because it's been happy with me basically since I bought it. Honestly, I've been suspicious that I've just gotten really, really lucky, but I even went on vacation and it was still happy. So I feel like I've figured something out. So definitely I'm going to go through all of the points that I put in that Instagram post, and I'm just going to expand on them and just talk about more about each of the things that I have done to keep this baby happy. Because it is a Calathea, and Calathea are known for needing a lot of humidity and being total divas, which I love a diva plant, I really do, but I can't have too many of them. I have quite a few diva plants right now, so I'm a little stressed a lot of the time, but I'm working through it and I'm slowly becoming more acclimated with the plants and it's becoming a little bit easier. But this is one of those plants that has been so easy on me, and if I haven't talked about it enough, I love it. So what I have done for this Calathea, the first thing that I did was make sure that I had a pebble tray. The pebble tray is one of those things in the plant world that is highly disputed whether or not it actually does anything. And I'm not sure if it actually does anything, but I will say that for a very long time, I only had the plant sitting on a pebble tray and it was super, super happy. Since then, I have introduced a larger humidifier. I have the Levoit, I forgot the model number, but I'll have it linked down in the description below so you can find it and research it yourself. It is basically the humidifier that a lot of planty YouTubers have and love, and I would recommend it 1,000 times over. But when I first started out, the humidity tray was a really great and affordable way to increase the humidity in my home. I live in Tucson, Arizona, and it is just very, very hot and dry here. Sometimes we're lucky to go above like 10% humidity. So what I did was I got a little plastic tray from the garden center and I filled it up with some horticultural pebbles and fill it with water every so often whenever it needs it. I never let the water be filled too much so that the water is touching the bottom of the pot, because the roots will start to go down and reach for that water and eventually could potentially rot if it is in the water for too long. So that is something to just be mindful of when it comes to a pebble tray. I love mine so much. I personally think that it does a lot for my plant, but maybe if you have not had a similar experience, you can try out these other methods that I am going to mention as well. Before I forget, another way that you can make a humidity tray is to get a little tray, like I said, like a plastic tray, and you can put an upside down saucer in it and fill that up with water, and then you can just set the plant on top of the bottom of the saucer, if that makes any sense. But it basically just flipping the saucer so that the plant has something higher up to sit on top of, and then there's water all around it so that it is actually evaporating up into the plant. That is the purpose of a pebble tray. It's just to create some evaporation around the plant. So you definitely want to make sure that your pebble tray is quite sizable in comparison to your plant. I think that mine is about 2 inches larger than the pot itself, like in diameter. I think it's diameter. Let's go back to high school geometry. I got a D in that class, let's be honest. Okay, so the next thing that you could do for your Calathea Orbifolia to keep it happy is to introduce a small humidifier. Now, if this is like really your only humidifier lover, you don't need to get a huge humidifier for it. In light of that, I would really suggest some sort of oil diffuser so that you can diffuse some oils and also provide some humidity for your Orbifolia. They love humidity, and I think that that is usually a common problem with them. That is a lot of the reason why they sometimes get like brown and crispy tips. Brown and crispy tips could also be caused by the water that you're using, but I will get to that in just a second. So if you don't want to buy a big humidifier or you just don't need one, an oil diffuser is a really great way to pacify the need for humidity. Also, I have seen this really cool thing, which is a humidifier that you stick in a cup of water. And I have been wanting to try that out for so long, and I think that I need to order one. I will link one down below that I've been looking at, so if you are interested, you can check it out too. I think those would be really sweet in like a propagation box or like a tiny little greenhouse or something like that. That would be so cool. And you just make sure that the cup is filled with water, and that will provide humidity. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about with Calathea care is leaf dusting. So I think that my Calathea gets super bogged down with dust because it lives in the bathroom, and toilet paper actually creates a lot of dust. If you've never noticed that before, wake up and look at all the dust particles every time you rip off that toilet paper. I mean, it is just going everywhere. So once I realized what the cause was of that, I feel a lot better, because for some reason I thought that there was like something about the plant that attracted dust. And honestly, part of it could be that the leaves are like a large surface, but it really is just with the environment. So I would say with any plant, you want to make sure that the leaves are free of dust so that the plant can photosynthesize and actually absorb the light, because if the pores of the plant are bogged down, they are not able to soak in those rays and go sunbathing. So definitely make sure you're doing that. There's a lot of different ways that you can clean and shine your leaves. My favorite way is to mix lemon water mix lemon with water, pretty much like a half and half mixture. It really doesn't matter that much. I mean, the lemon will really cut through any watermarks and dust and leave them very, very shiny. If you have any leaf cleaning tips, you can leave them in a comment down below so that this video can sort of be a resource for anybody else who is looking for Calathea care. The next thing that I want to talk about is watering for the Calathea Orbifolia, and I will say that this plant demands a lot less water than I expected. I'm thinking Calatheas are very thirsty, but that is just really not the case. I only water this plant with distilled water, and that is because the water where I live is very hard. It has a lot of minerals and calcium. Are those things that live in water? I don't know, but my water is very hard, and it would definitely cause leaf burn, because what happens when a plant gets water is it absorbs the water into its leaves, and when those things are present in the water, things being like minerals and stuff like that, it burns the leaves because the leaf cannot process those kinds of things. And so what happens, it manifests itself in basically like little brown tips like this. If you can see, just like brown. It doesn't look particularly amazing, but surprisingly enough, mine doesn't have a ton of that, so I'm really, really thankful for that. And honestly, I attribute that to the fact that I use distilled water. I think that that is really like a big key for Calathea in general. I have not switched out the soil at all from the grower soil because it drains quickly and the plant is very happy in it. The root system is not trying to break out of the pot, so I just don't feel like I need to repot it. And also it's in a black pot, and it's kind of like a nice nursery pot, so I don't feel particularly inclined to repot it. I've definitely taken a step back from repotting my plants immediately. I really just kind of look at the soil that it comes in and see if that is suitable. But if I notice that the mix is very peaty or just very thick in general, I will repot it. But it's happy in the soil, so I'm not going to change that. Now, as far as light goes, I have it about 4 feet from an eastern window. It doesn't get direct light, but it gets pretty bright light throughout the day, and it's been very happy with that. It actually put out this leaf, which is very tall and much bigger than the rest of the leaves, so that helps me to know that it is getting exactly what it needs as far as nutrition and light goes. Calathea are understory plants, as are a lot of our houseplants, and they basically creep across the bottom of a jungle floor. They are not used to getting direct rays of light, and they are definitely susceptible to burns. Definitely, if you have one of these, make sure that it is getting bright light throughout the day, but not direct rays of light on the leaves. So the light should never specifically touch the leaves, is what I say. So if the light is touching like right here, that's fine, but if it goes over a few inches, that might be a problem for your plant. Even plants like the Monstera deliciosa, which I think are very hardy plants, they are even susceptible to sunburn. And I'm looking at one and I'm wondering why they do that, but honestly, they're not used to it in their natural environment, and I don't see why that would change in our homes. That is pretty much what I have to say about Calathea care. Again, I think that we should definitely not overthink it. If you are being a helicopter parent, we can take a step back and understand that the plant has its own life and things that it needs to experience and go through. And as long as you are regularly fertilizing, it's not getting too much light, but it is still getting bright light, and you are watering with distilled water, keeping those leaves clean, and making sure that the humidity around your plant is extra high, your Calathea orbifolia should thrive and be so happy. There are a few places online where you can buy a Calathea orbifolia. I know that they are in retail stores sometimes, but it was extremely difficult for me to find one, so I ended up ordering it online from Tennessee Tropicals. I'm pretty sure that I paid $36 for it, and for me that felt like a good price because it came in a 6-inch pot with 7 leaves when I got it, and it was beautiful and super healthy, and the soil, like I said, is really nice. You can also buy a Calathea orbifolia from Plantarina. She has recently launched a store, and I'm actually very curious about how her plants come out, because I know that, or I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that she grows them and sells them, I think. Don't count that as gospel either, because I have not been keeping up as well as I should. But I know that she does sell Calathea orbifolia, and I'm actually tempted to buy another one just to kind of experiment and see if this plant is just like extra tolerant or I actually do know how to take care of them. But I just wanted to share with you what I have been doing because it's been working really well, and if you have had problems, maybe you can adjust a few things. There are many ways to take care of a Calathea orbifolia. This is just what works for me, so definitely take what I say with a grain of salt and see how you can introduce all of these things into your home and in your environment and see how it goes. If you are here because you are desperately searching for the cure for your dying Calathea orbifolia, welcome home. This is my YouTube channel, De La Plants, and this is where we talk about houseplants and houseplant care and lots of repotting and joking around and laughing and going on planty adventures, and I would really love to have you be a part of this little family. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you're not already, and if you would like to be notified when I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, hit that notification bell. Thank you again for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful. If you have any further questions, I would love to do some helping in the comments down below. Again, I'm not an expert. How many times can I say that? I'm not an expert, but I would love to help you out in any way that I can. And maybe if somebody else knows the answer to your problem or question, they can answer too. So definitely I'm opening it up. Anybody can comment to anybody. I would love to see some discussions and conversations going on in the comments down below. That would really make my little heart go pitter-patter. So thank you for watching this again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!